So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Google Pixel 7 Pro versus Galaxy S22 Ultra speed test. Let's begin with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, the Google Pixel 7 Pro is a pretty cheaper phone than the S22 Ultra, a few $100 less. Comes with Tensor G2, as well as 12 gigabytes of RAM, Android 13 out of the box. Over here on the right, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 on the S22 Ultra, Android 13, and One UI 5, which we just got a couple days ago. But you can see the Pixel says, sit down, big boy. I will go get a cup of coffee before you turn on. So definitely the Pixel, one of the fastest booting Android phones, and it beats the S22 Ultra here just on a boot right away. So let's go ahead and test their fingerprint sensors just to see which one is a little bit faster. And you can see it looks like the Pixel 7 Pro does that animation a little bit quicker. Again, I could be slightly off. Both of them very accurate though, and I think it doesn't really matter here which one you go with. You're gonna have a good experience. But the Pixel has improved over the 6 Pro, which gave me more fingerprint sensor issues, so that's a good thing. You can see that big old clock face right there. That is from the One UI 5 that we're running here on the Samsung S22 Ultra. But in terms of just general smoothness, scrolling through the phones, I do feel like, you know, when the Samsung first turns on, it can be a little bit slow sometimes. But once it gets booted up, they both are pretty similar in their smooth factor. And this is an area where Samsung is trying to work on a lot with their current versions of One UI. So definitely a very nice experience, fluid on both of them. And I don't think you're gonna have too much of an issue either way with just general scrolling. They're both 120 Hertz and they both are buttery smooth. So quickly confirming the software, you can see they both are running Android 13. So that's pretty cool. This is the Easter egg right here. And you know we're running it here with the Samsung just by going to wallpapers. Take a look at browse my wallpapers. You'll see the new One UI 5 collections here. That's one of the new updates. And then you can go ahead and change the clocks and stuff like that. So definitely we are running the new version on both. Let's get on with the app test now. You can see everything is closed out for both phones on both devices. No recently opened apps. And let's see how they perform here. Let me zoom in just a little bit before we get rocking. And we're gonna check this out now. So let's go into calendar. And you can see, look like a little bit of a delay. Let me turn off dark mode here. Look like a little bit of a slowdown there on the Samsung by comparison. We'll go into calculator and you can see that one looked like the Samsung. We'll go into clock. That one looked like the Samsung. Let's go into weather here. And that looked like Google because they're still loading here. They got these new animations in One UI 5, but let's get up out of here. We'll go into Play Store and Samsung on that one. And technically the Samsung should be faster. It does have a technically faster chip. We'll go into Instagram and you can see Instagram first there on the left for Google Pixel. And the Pixel I think does better in Instagram when it comes to photos and stuff like that. So definitely it's something to keep in mind if you do want to have, you know, a little bit better Instagram performance, especially in things like stories. Let's go into Twitter here. And you can see Twitter first there on the right. Let me go over here to my profile. I do have to say though that I think the Pixel does better when it comes to like in-app performance, kind of like these little micro stutters that Samsung gives me. I've always had this issue with my S22 Ultra since it launched. It's one of the reasons why I didn't make it my main phone all the time. It actually didn't perform as good to me as the S21 Ultra. So I'm really looking forward to see what the S23 Ultra brings. You can see that the Google Pixel loaded that first. We'll go into categories, things to do. And see the scrolling, there's just like a little micro jitter. It only happens just very, very shortly. You can barely see it, but Pixel overall just feels a little smoother around the operating system. But doesn't mean it's faster. You can see that the Samsung won this one out by quite the margin. Let's go ahead and get up out of there. We'll go into Best Buy and you can see Best Buy is first on the left. Black Friday deals already coming out for most of these retailers. We'll go into products and we'll go to computers and tablets. You can see that was on the left. Let's go into eBay and you can see eBay pretty similar on both phones. Let's head up out of there. We'll go into Starbucks and you can see that's going to go to the right. Let's scroll out of there. And we'll start with the games, the area where the Pixel is probably not the faster phone, but it loaded that quicker. You know, a lot of people talking about the gaming not being great, and yes, it does warm up under certain circumstances, but I think the majority of the games you want to play are more optimized for mobile anyway, so it's not like you're not going to be able to play them. Yeah, you might get better frame rates, a little bit better performance on the S22 Ultra, and if you want all that, go for it, but it's not like it's not playable on the Pixel 7 Pro, but you can see S22 Ultra loading up PUBG definitely faster. And again, if you're into gaming a little more, you'll want the Samsung, but how often are you gaming on your phone if you got a console, for example? Like, do you have a console, or are you doing all your gaming on a phone? And I'm not trying to make excuses. Google should match up to the competition if they're going to be charging near the same prices for their devices, but this year they're not really at the same price point. You know, the Pixel 7 Pro is several $100 cheaper, so I'll take a couple of seconds slower, a little bit less frame rate for like $300 cheaper, $400 cheaper than S22 Ultra. I'll take that every day of the week. Let's go into Subway Surfers, and you can see Subway Surfers is going to go first to the right. Definitely Samsung had that one. Let's hit tap to play. And again, easily going to handle these little basic games for sure. We'll get up out of there. We'll go into Temple Run 2. And you can see Temple Run 2 loading first there on the right. So it seems to me like the Samsung is the faster phone, but the Pixel is the smoother phone just in terms of the operating system polish. We'll go into Geekbench 5. And you can see Samsung first on that one. And we'll go into 3D Mark. And you can see Samsung first on that one. So overall, I think I would give Samsung the win on just the application test in terms of sheer speed. In terms of how they actually look when an application though, I think that the Pixel is a smoother looking phone. Like, it just scrolls better. The overall system feels more optimized. Although Samsung is doing a great job with their current One UI 5, and I definitely like what I'm seeing here. Let me know if you want to see a full direct comparison with One UI 5, iOS 16, Android 13 vanilla. Let me know if you want to see some comparisons like that where we break down the features down below in the comments. All right, so let's see if we get any reloads on either phone. So we'll begin with the Pixel 7 Pro. And one thing I like to look at with the Android phones is how smooth do they look coming out of these applications. In the past, they could get a little choppy. Pixel said, "Shut up, Nick. It's 2022. I know what I'm doing." And you can see definitely really smooth in this area. So really like what Google is doing with the Pixel series. Even when you're coming out of these applications, it looks buttery smooth. So very nice there on the Pixel 7 Pro. Let's take a look at Samsung. Historically, Samsung has given me a little trouble in this area, especially when applications are rotated in the landscape. We'll see here in the PUBG how it does. Still a little bit, still a little bit. Let me see that one more time. Well, there was something there, but not bad. Let's see about this one. A lot smoother, though, I feel like, than One UI 4. So I'll give them props for that. It definitely looks better than One UI 4. And man, I got to say, though, the S22 Ultra still feels like the higher end phone, though. It's got the more premium display, bigger body. It just feels like a more costly device, which it is. It should feel that way. So if you want the more premium feel, you'll want this phone. Screen looks better as well, but overall, One UI 5 performance is rock solid. I'm not sure if I've seen a little bit of a micro jitter on the PUBG. Could have been me. Overall, though, both of them rock solid here. So let's go ahead and run their benchmarks now. You can see that the Google Pixel 7 Pro is clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. Over here, 4 cores at 1.8. On the second cluster, the S22 Ultra is clocked at 2.5 versus 2.35. And on the third cluster, 3 gigahertz versus 2.85. So it's clocked slightly higher overall on the S22 Ultra. Let's go ahead and run this. I'll be back. So look at this, guys. Neck and neck. They're both sitting at a 93. Although I will say that both these phones are taking far longer than the iPhone to finish this test. Google does finish this test a hair quicker than the Samsung, but you can see, look at the single core. The single core result was better on the Pixel. The single core was less on the S22 Ultra on Android 13, with a better multi-core score on the Android 13 version of the S22 Ultra. Let's see their common single core. So some people are going to say that's a bit low. You know, definitely is. If you look at this, the S21 Ultra doing better on the single. I don't know what's up with that score. But hey, I'm not doing anything to tweak this test. You know, we opened some applications, we opened Geekbench, and we ran it. So this is what we got. Let's go into multi-core. And you could see even the multi-core was a little bit low. I don't know if there's some throttling going on there. But overall, you know, the Pixel did win that one out. Overall, you know, these phones are both pretty much neck and neck in the real world performance. I would say the Samsung is not quite as smooth, but I do think it's a little bit faster, as you've seen in the speed test. Let's go into camera. Hold on. We had a little quick accidental press there. Let's do this again. 3, 2, go. And you can see Samsung opened that first. Let me go ahead and close those out and do this again. 3, 2, go. And yeah, Samsung with the faster camera experience, also the longer zoom, but Google's got a trick up its sleeve by giving you 30x zoom with AI so to make it even better. So you get this like super res zoom. So at the end of the day, this is not a full comparison. This was just a speed test, but I can tell you in the area of performance, if you were looking for the faster phone, you probably want the S22 Ultra. If you're looking for the phone that is just about as fast and smoother at a cheaper price, the Pixel is the better value. But you do get what you pay for. The S22 Ultra does feel like a more premium phone. It does feel like it has more premium hardware, and it does have the more premium display with S Pen support. So it kind of does justify its price by comparison, but you can't go wrong with a Pixel 7 Pro either. Let me know if you guys want to see a full comparison between these two, and let me know your thoughts on the results down below of this speed test. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next one, and peace.